Okay, so if you're an entrepreneur, chances are you've had this thought, right? I really should write a book.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like, I don't know, the ultimate badge of honor, the big business card, proof you really know your stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
But then reality hits.
Yeah.
The lack of time, procrastination. Just how do you even start that while running a business?
Right.
But what if?
Yeah.
What if that whole idea is, well, kind of wrong? What if writing a book isn't some huge, daunting task you keep pushing off?
What if it was actually achievable?
Exactly. Achievable and like a powerful tool for your business, something you could do this year.
Well, that's exactly what we're going to deep dive into today. We're looking at a system design, specifically for busy entrepreneurs,
I
not
know.
just to write, but to actually publish their first book.
Yeah.
And maybe faster than you'd think.
And our guide for this is Ray Brehm's book, Author Your Success. The subtitle is pretty direct. How to Stop Procrastinating, Write Your First Book, and Become a Published Author in 120 days.
120 days.
Yeah. So our mission today is really to unpack the how and the why bother, and how could you actually pull this off in, say, 4 months.
It really comes down to figuring out the highest and best use of your time as a founder and how a book fits into that picture perfectly. The system is all about those like high leverage actions, finding the one key move,
The salsa flip idea he mentions.
Yeah.
Like learning one key move for maximum impact.
Something like that, yeah. Identifying what really matters.
Okay, let's start there then. The why. Why should a super busy entrepreneur even think about adding write a book to their to-do list?
Yeah.
What are the real business benefits Ray Brehm points out?
Oh, he makes a really compelling case. It basically hits three main areas: credibility, marketing, and sales.
Okay, credibility first.
Right, just having author next to your name,
Yeah.
it instantly elevates you. He tells this great story about his dad, introducing him as my son the author, and his dad apparently said that title almost seemed to impress people more than introducing his other son, the doctor.
Wow, okay.
The point is, you're already an expert in your business, right? A book just makes that expertise, well, undeniable to everyone else.
That's interesting. It's like a recognized symbol of that knowledge.
Exactly. And then there's marketing. Ray argues your book is basically the ultimate business card.
Better than an actual card.
Way better. Think about it. How many business cards or flyers just get tossed?
Uh-huh. Most of them.
But a book, even a, say, $5 book you hand someone that sits on their desk or their bookshelf, it's this constant physical reminder of you and your value.
Right. James Altucher had that quote about business cards being a sign of failure.
Yeah, Ray mentions that too. A book doesn't fail like that. It sticks around.
So it's marketing that lasts. What about the sales angle?
Well, a book kind of promotes you without selling. You're not pushing widgets, right? You're offering knowledge, value. The book introduces you, builds that trust, establishes you as the authority. It's a bit like, the movie Inception.
Planting the idea.
Yeah. You plant the idea of working with you in their mind, but they feel like they came up with it. It's subtle, but really effective.
Okay. Credibility, marketing, sales. Are there other, tangible benefits he mentions?
Oh, definitely. The book acts as a filter. It tends to attract higher quality customers because, well, reading your book shows they're already invested.
It put in the effort.
Exactly. Plus, your network can basically do marketing for you just by handing out your book. And the book itself becomes this foundational digital asset.
No, so
It can lead to speaking gigs, maybe some PR, definitely leads for the business. It can even be the basis for online courses or coaching programs later on.
And I saw something about a reducing price sensitivity. How does that work?
Well, think about it. If someone's read your book or they got it from someone they trust, they already feel like they know you. They trust your expertise.
Right.
So that relationship, that authority you've built before you even talk price, it just makes the cost less of a sticking point compared to, a cold pitch. The credibility turns into perceived value.
Okay, that's a really strong argument for the why.
Yeah.
But let's be honest, the how is usually the big roadblock.
Sure.
So Ray Brehm tackles that procrastination thing by saying the best way forward depends on, who you are as an entrepreneur.
Yeah, he makes a great point that procrastination often isn't about not knowing anything, but not having a clear system that fits you.
Okay.
So he identifies three main types of entrepreneur authors.
All right, let's hear them. What are the types?
Okay, first is the DIY author, do it yourself. This is the person who wants to learn it all. Writing, editing, formatting, KDP, Ingram Spark, the whole shebang. They see learning this as like adding a core skill to their toolbox. They need structure, resources, the
They
details.
want to tinker with the engine themselves.
Totally. Then you've got the DIF author, do it fast.
Right.
They also want to do it themselves, but efficiency is key. They don't want to spend ages researching 50 tools. They want the shortcuts, the best practices, the clear do this, then this plan.
Just give me the quickest proven path.
Exactly. Speed and control. And finally, there's the DFY author. Done for you.
The delegator.
The master delegator. This is the entrepreneur who knows their time is best spent elsewhere. They want a team to handle pretty much everything, the writing, editing, design, publishing. They just provide the core knowledge, the voice.
Yeah, I can see how people might lean one way or maybe be a mix.
Yeah.
Does the book help all types?
It really does. The core ideas, the habits, a lot of the techniques we'll talk about, they're valuable no matter which path you prefer. It offers stuff for everyone.
Okay, so no matter your type, how do you actually start? Like getting words down consistently. What are the absolute basics Ray Brehm emphasizes?
He really drills down on two things: consistency and brain dumps.
Consistency, you mean writing every single day, no excuses.
Pretty much, yeah. Writing every day. He calls it the best weapon against procrastination, like training a muscle.
Yeah.
He suggests setting a daily word count goal, maybe 1,000 words.
Huh.
And here's a key tip. If you're totally stuck on the book topic one day, write anything.
Anything, like an email.
Yeah, an email, a letter, notes on another project. The point is just to maintain the habit of writing daily. Keep that momentum going.
So the act of writing is the goal, more than the specific output on tough days.
Precisely. And to make that daily habit step easier, he talks about habit stacking.
Okay, what's that?
It's basically linking the new writing habit to something you already do every morning without fail, like right after your coffee or before you hit the gym.
Piggybacking on an existing routine?
Exactly. Anchor it to something solid. He mentions how Elrod's Miracle Morning stuff influenced this idea.
Makes sense. And the second habit, brain dumps.
Brain dumps. This is all about reducing mental stress. The idea, and he references Ari Maisel here, is that trying to keep all your book ideas in your head creates anxiety. You're afraid you'll forget something brilliant.
Yeah, that resonates.
So get it all out. Dump it into a safe place, could be a simple document, or he suggests a tool like Evernote. Even the free version works fine.
Just get it out of your head.
Right. Ideas for this book, ideas for future books, random thoughts related to it. Just capture everything. It frees up your mind.
Okay, daily writing habit, clearing the mental clutter with brain dumps. That's the foundation. But, keeping that up for 120 days, that takes discipline. How do you stay accountable, especially when you're the boss?
Yeah, accountability is key for that consistency piece. The traditional way is having an accountability partner.
Someone who will actually call you out if you slack off.
Exactly. Someone who isn't afraid to give you that nudge or maybe a kick. But Ray Brehm's favorite method, especially for building self-accountability, is using a daily goal-setting journal.
Like the Freedom Journal he mentions.
Yeah, something like that. The process is simple but effective. Every morning, you write down your big 100-day goal and your single most important task for that day, and maybe a few other tasks.
Okay.
Then at night, you review. What did you actually accomplish? What thoughts came up?
So you're actively committing on paper daily, then reflecting.
Yes. It sounds simple, but physically writing it down and tracking it builds this powerful momentum. It keeps you focused on hitting that daily target, like the 1,000 words, which he says often only takes 30-60 minutes once you get going. Of course, hiring an author coach is another option for direct accountability, but the main thing is finding some system that makes sure you hit that daily target.
Got it. So habits start the engine, accountability keeps it running, but now you're facing the whole book. Where do you even start organizing all those ideas? That blank page is still pretty scary.
Totally. He addresses that directly. His go-to tool here is mind mapping.
Mind mapping. For a whole book. How's that different from a regular outline?
He argues it's way more dynamic, especially for visual thinkers, which many entrepreneurs are. It's like a structured brain dump.
Okay, how does it work?
You start with a book summary mind map, put your main topic in the middle, then just brainstorm everything. All the main points, ideas, stories for the whole book. No filter.
Get it all out there visually.
Right. Then you look at it. Start circling related ideas, drawing lines between them. These clusters that form. They naturally start suggesting your main sections or chapters. It's like your first visual table of contents, but much more fluid than a rigid outline at first.
So you see the connections emerge from the chaos, kind of.
Exactly. Once you have that big picture map, then you drill down. You create chapter-level mind maps.
Okay.
For each chapter you identified on the big map, you make a new separate mind map detailing all the points within that specific chapter. You're basically fleshing out the ideas.
What's the recommended way to tackle this, like day by day?
He suggests dedicating day 1 just to that big book summary mind map. Then, starting day 2, pick the chapter that feels easiest to mind map first, get a win, build momentum,
Smart.
then work through the others. And here's a cool tip. Later in the process, try redoing the book summary map from scratch without looking at your previous one. It helps you see if anything's missing or if new connections have popped up as you've been working. The whole point is getting ideas down fast, visually, making connections.
Okay. Mind mapping gives you the structure. But how do you make sure the actual writing in each chapter is, engaging, not just a list of points? You mentioned he's not a fan of traditional outlining.
Yeah, he literally says, outlining sucks. His approach is way more active. It's about applying techniques from, believe it or not, sales copywriting to your chapter structure.
Sales techniques in a book chapter. How does that make it compelling?
It forces you to think about each chapter from the reader's perspective. Like you're making a mini pitch for the value inside that chapter. Make it feel relevant right away. He calls it the Dauntless Chapter Framework, or DCF. It's inspired by Sean D'Souza's work.
Dauntless Chapter Framework. Okay, I'm curious. What is it?
It's based on answering 6 specific questions for every single chapter.
6 questions per chapter.
1, what's the problem this chapter solves for the reader? 2, what's the solution you're offering in this chapter? 3, who is the ideal reader, the avatar for this specific chapter?
Problem, solution, avatar. Got it.
4, what objections or doubts might that reader have about what you're telling them? 5, what proof can you offer to overcome those objections? Think stories, data, testimonials. And 6, why is this chapter or the approach here unique?
Wow. Okay, so those 6 questions guide the writing.
Exactly. They basically become the structure.
Yeah.
Your chapter intro hits the first 3, apt, problem, solution, avatar, hooks the reader.
Right, tells them why they should care.
Exactly. Then the body of the chapter tackles questions 4 to 6. You present the info, but you anticipate their skepticism, you provide the proof, you show why it's valuable or different, and the chapter summary reinforces the solution and usually gives a little hook or pitch for why they should read the next chapter.
That makes so much sense. You're constantly connecting it back to the reader, just like good sales copy does, addressing their needs, their potential doubts.
Totally. It shifts focus from features, this chapter covers X, to benefits. Here's how this chapter solves your problem Y. And focusing on problems and objections is powerful because people are often motivated to avoid pain. It just keeps the chapters focused and stops them from wandering.
Okay, mind map for structure, DCF for compelling content.
Yeah.
Now, the big one, getting that first draft actually done. How do you tackle that beast and do it fast?
Right. The first draft, Ray calls it the foundation. And yeah, often the biggest mental hurdle, he quotes Jack Canfield, everything you do in life is a first draft.
I like that. Takes the pressure off.
It really does. The mantra here, echoing folks like Chandler Bolt too, is done is better than perfect.
Just get it finished.
Yes. You can't edit nothing, can't get feedback on nothing. The only goal of the first draft is completion. Forget perfection for now.
What kind of length are we talking for a typical first book for an entrepreneur?
The target he suggests is around 10,000 to 15,000 words. That usually works out to about 12 chapters, maybe 1,000 to 2,000 words each. Pretty manageable. But the absolute #1 rule during drafting is keep moving forward. Do not stop to edit.
Resist the urge to tweak as you go.
Massively resist. Don't review yesterday's work. Don't get stuck on a chapter that feels hard. Just skip it, write another one, come back later. Don't worry about perfect logic or flow yet. Stay in that creative zone, not the critical editing zone.
To get the raw stuff down.
Exactly. And the absolute fastest way Ray recommends for entrepreneurs to do this, dictation.
Dictation, like talk in your book.
Yeah, talking it out loud. His argument is that typing or handwriting actually uses both sides of your brain, the creative side and the logical editing side. It creates friction. But talking, that's a natural brain dump, especially for entrepreneurs who are usually good at talking about their business anyway. It taps into a strength.
Using your natural communication style.
Precisely. He gives this amazing personal example. He could type maybe 1,000 words in 30, 40 minutes.
Okay.
Using the rev.com app to dictate, he got 1,871 words down in about 11 minutes.
Whoa, that's huge.
Right. More words, way less time. Plus, you can dictate while you're walking, driving, basically anywhere. It fits into a busy schedule.
That really does sound like one of those high-leverage moves. Double the output, fraction of the time. What tools does he suggest?
Well, there's rev.com for paid transcription. He mentions about $1 a minute for humans. Or using a good mic like a Yeti Blue with your Mac's built-in speech-to-text, or drag in Naturally Speaking on a PC.
Okay.
He basically says, just try it for 5 days. He guarantees you'll be convinced.
Okay, that's a strong pitch. So let's say you've dictated your draft. Fast. But now,
Yeah.
how do you make sure you haven't missed stuff? Because you're too close to the topic. Stuff readers need, but you just assume they know.
The curse of knowledge. Yeah, that's a classic problem. His number one fix for this is something he calls the interview.
The interview. Okay, who's interviewing you? About what?
You get someone to interview you about your book's topic, but here's the key. The interviewer should be interested, but not an expert in your specific field.
Why not an expert?
Because a non-expert will ask the dumb questions. The questions a real reader would have. The things that seem totally obvious to you, but aren't to someone outside your bubble.
It's like getting audience questions before you publish.
Exactly. He compares it to the Q&A after a speech that's often where the crucial stuff the speaker skipped comes out. The interview digs out those details, it uncovers objections you might not have thought of, and it captures your natural conversational way of explaining things.
So what makes a good interviewer for this?
They should look at your outline or mind map beforehand so they know the terrain. Plan maybe 3 to 4 chapters per session.
Yeah.
And their magic words are why and can you be more specific? Keep asking those.
Dig deeper.
Yeah. And also ask for stories. Tell me about a time when, or what was the first time you dealt with X? Stories make it real. They connect. It's like having a beta reader asking clarifying questions before you even think about editing.
That sounds super valuable. Okay, draft done, maybe dictated. Gaps filled using the interview technique. Now, editing. The part everyone loves to hate.
Editing. Yep. Ray totally gets that creatives often cringe at this stage. He even admits his first reaction looking at his own draft is often, this book sucks.
Relatable.
But he hammers home how crucial it is. Good editing is what separates a professional book from an amateur one. It keeps the reader in the flow.
What do you mean, in the flow?
Well, every typo, every clunky sentence, every time you repeat yourself unnecessarily, it jolts the reader. It pulls them out of your ideas and reminds them they're just reading words on a page. Good editing makes the writing invisible so the ideas shine.
Okay, so what's the process he recommends?
It starts with self-editing. You absolutely have to do at least one pass, preferably 2, where you read the entire draft out loud.
Out loud, why?
It's amazing what you catch when you hear it. Awkward phrasing, grammar mistakes, repetition. Your ears pick up stuff your eyes miss. Mark it up like you would a printed copy.
Okay, read it aloud makes sense. Then what?
Then, and this is non-negotiable, professional editing. You are just too close to your own work. You'll miss things. You need fresh, expert eyes.
Are there different kinds of editors?
Yeah, he briefly covers the main types. Developmental editing looks at the big picture structure, flow, are there content gaps? Line editing focuses on clarity, tone, sentence structure. And copy editing is the final, polish grammar, spelling, punctuation, consistency, proofreading, basically.
So what's the minimum effective dose here for an entrepreneur's first book?
He suggests self-edit aloud twice. Then, hire pros for at least 1 round of line editing and 1 round of copy editing. And be prepared, expect to cut maybe 10–15% of your draft during editing.
Good tip. So overshoot the word count a bit.
Definitely overshoot.
All right, the words are polished, now making the package look professional. Title, cover, the inside pages. How important is that?
Oh, it's huge. Absolutely critical. Ray is blunt. People do judge books by covers and titles, especially online where you might only see a tiny thumbnail image.
Okay, so how do you nail the title?
The secret, he says, is the title and subtitle together must answer 2 questions. Who is this book for? And why should they read it? What's the benefit? What pain does it solve?
Be super clear on audience and value.
Exactly. He suggests short, catchy main titles with longer descriptive subtitles that really spell out the benefits and target a specific niche. Don't try to appeal to everyone. Brainstorm like crazy, aim for 20 options. Keywords are good, but the compelling message comes first.
And the cover design. DIY or hire out?
Hire out, definitely. A professional cover screams credibility. Ray's a fan of using contest sites like 99 Designs. He found the $299 option gave him lots of great choices from competing designers.
What do you need before you start a cover contest?
Good point. You need to know your book's final trim size, like 6x9, and have a pretty firm page count because that affects the spine width. So your manuscript needs to be mostly done and edited.
Okay.
and budget time for feedback. He says plan on 2-3 weeks, giving detailed feedback to designers maybe twice a day. Don't be afraid to rate low initially to guide them. And always, always get the source files, .psd, and high-quality PDFs.
What about the inside, the interior formatting?
Just as important. Bad formatting looks amateurish. You can learn to do it yourself, but it's fiddly and time-consuming.
So outsource.
That's the strong recommendation. Use a professional service. CreateSpace used to offer one, now KDP might, or find a freelancer on Fiverr. Or use specialized tools or templates like Pressbooks or ones from Derek Murphy. Budget at least a couple weeks for this if you outsource.
Okay, edited text, great title, pro cover, clean interior. Now, getting actual physical books for handing out, for marketing. How does that work?
Yeah, having those physical copies is key. The two main players for print on demand, POD, are CreateSpace, which is now basically rolled into KDP Print, Amazon's platform, and Ingram Spark.
KDP Print and Ingram Spark. What's the difference for an entrepreneur?
KDP Print is generally simpler, great for getting paperbacks easily onto Amazon and for ordering copies for yourself. Ingram Spark is a bit more complex, but it's often necessary if you want hardcover copies or if you want wider distribution into physical bookstores, libraries, etc.
So for a first book, maybe start simpler?
That's the advice. Start with KDP Print for your paperback. One thing to note, you usually need about 130 pages minimum to get text printed on the spine. Use their online preview tools, Interior Reviewer, and always order a physical proof copy to check before you hit publish.
Is there a suggested order for publishing formats? Like Kindle first?
Yes, definitely. To make it less overwhelming, he suggests this order. 1. Launch the Kindle ebook first. Formatting is generally easiest. 2. Then set up and publish the KDP Print paperback, making sure to link it to the Kindle version on Amazon. 3. Then, if you want hardcover or wider distribution, tackle Ingram Spark.
Learn one platform at a time.
Exactly. Avoids delays and reduces frustration.
Okay, so everything we've covered feels really geared towards the DIY or maybe the DIF entrepreneur, the person managing most of this themselves. What about that third type, the DFY, the done-for-you person, the delegator? Can you really outsource this whole thing effectively?
You absolutely can. And the book digs into this, highlighting it as a really viable, powerful option for busy entrepreneurs.
And this is where the hybrid ghostwriting idea comes in.
Exactly. Ray positions hybrid ghostwriting as this almost disruptive model. It's designed to capture your authentic voice and knowledge, but delegate almost all the heavy lifting of writing and publishing.
How's it different from like traditional ghostwriting?
The core input from the entrepreneur is much more focused. Instead of tons of notes or outlining, it centers around just 1 to 3 recorded conversations or interviews.
Okay.
A skilled interviewer probes using those techniques we talked about, asking why, asking for stories to really draw out your expertise and perspective in your natural speaking style.
So it leverages your ability to just talk about your stuff.
Precisely. That's the raw material. Then the DFY team takes over.
What do they handle?
Pretty much everything else. Transcription, drafting the manuscript based on your voice from the interviews, managing all the editing rounds, running the cover design process, doing the interior layout and formatting, handling all the technical uploads to KDP, Ingram Spark, etc.
Wow. So the author approves, but doesn't have to manage the nuts and bolts.
Right. You can be involved as much or as little as you want in the review stages, but you don't need to become a publishing expert yourself.
Sounds amazing for time savings.
Yeah.
But the cost, it must be significantly more upfront than DIY, right?
It is a bigger upfront investment, no doubt. Ray mentions figures like $8,000 plus as a baseline for this kind of service, comparing it favorably to maybe $25,000 plus for other high-end ghostwriting.
Okay.
But, and this is his crucial point, you need to compare apples to apples. What are the unavoidable costs of DIY or DIF?
Right. We talked about editing, cover, interior.
Exactly. Software, maybe some training, dictation services if you use them. Multiple rounds of editing, professional cover design, interior formatting, proof copies. He estimates that baseline is easily $2,000 plus probably more.
And that's just the hard cash. It doesn't include your time.
And that's the hidden cost for an entrepreneur. Think about the hours spent learning formatting rules, vetting designers, figuring out KDP keywords, troubleshooting uploads, what's your hourly rate. That time adds up fast. When you factor in the opportunity cost of your time, the gap between DIY Def and DFY shrinks considerably. For a busy founder, DFY can actually be a very smart high ROI investment. It lets you get your book out, leveraging your knowledge without derailing your focus on running the actual business.
So really, there's a path for everyone. Whether you want to dive in deep, DIY, find the express lane, DIF, or have someone drive for you, DFY.
Mm-hmm.
And Ray Brehm actually lays out a concrete 120-day timeline to show it's possible. What does that look like practically?
Yeah, he offers a phased plan, aiming for that Kindle launch first within the 120 days. It breaks down roughly like this: days 1 to 30. Intense focus on getting that first draft done. Use your mind maps, the DCF questions for structure, and ideally dictation to hit your word count daily.
Month 1, draft complete.
Days 31 to 60. Time for self-editing. Read it aloud, maybe twice. While you're doing that, send the draft off to your professional editor.
Month 2, editing phase.
Days 61 to 90. While the manuscript is with the editor, start the cover design process. Get that contest running, or hire your designer. Once you get the edited manuscript back, sort out the interior formatting, hire someone, or do it.
Month 3, design phase.
Days 91 to 120. Now you pull it together. Gather a small launch team, maybe 10 people to help promote it, build some buzz, upload the final files to KDP, and launch that Kindle version.
Wow. Broken down like that, 120 days. It actually sounds doable.
Yeah.
Is there a big pitfall to avoid during this?
Yes, a huge one. Based on his own painful experience, do not get distracted by marketing stuff too early.
Like building a fancy author website.
Exactly, or planning launch parties or anything else before the writing and editing are completely 100% finished. He admits chasing those shiny objects before the book was ready cost him 6 months on his first book.
Ouch. Focus on the core product first.
Get the book done and polished, then worry about selling it. After the Kindle launch, then you circle back and do the paperback on KDP print, then Ingram Spark if you need it, step by step.
Amazing. So we've really covered the whole arc here. From that initial entrepreneurial dream of writing a book, tackling the procrastination, building the habits.
Yeah, using mind maps and the DCF to structure it, drafting fast with dictation, using interviews to fill the gaps.
Through the essential editing, getting the professional look and feel, figuring out printing, and even exploring that powerful done-for-you option.
Yeah.
It really feels like a complete roadmap.
It does. And the core takeaway from Author Your Success is really empowering. You can do this. As an entrepreneur, getting your book done is within reach. Your knowledge needs to be out there.
And whether you're a DIYer, a DIFer, or a DFYer, there's a system, a path that can get you there. And it's not just about ticking a box. We talked about the real benefits, the credibility boost, the marketing power, the sheer accomplishment of becoming a published author. It positions you differently.
It really does.
Yeah.
So maybe the final thought to leave people with is this. If writing a book is one of the fastest ways to establish expertise in someone's eyes, as Ray argues, and if it truly represents a highest and best use of your strategic time,
Then what's the real cost to you, to your business, of not writing your book?
exactly, something definitely worth thinking about.